Hi guys, and welcome back. I'm Christina Story, and I'm here today with Diego Martinez, who is running for governor for 2022. So today, again, we kind of just want to go back. Thank you guys for joining us on our Wednesday night at 7:30. I know that's a little bit of an adjustment for those out there and some. So thanks for joining us. If you guys have missed any previous videos, go ahead and check them out on our Facebook page after tonight's video. And you guys can always follow us and like and share on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. So good evening, Diego. How are you doing today?
Good, Chris. How are you guys? Thank you, everybody, for joining us Wednesday night, 7:30 every week. We're here. We have some exciting things coming on this coming up week. We've been in quite a few places last week. We also have a couple special guests coming in towards the end of the month. We're going to be talking about Prop 20 a little bit today, and then we're really going to bring it home next week, and we're going to break it down. There's some positives and negative things about Prop 20 that are going on. We're also going to have a couple special guests towards the end of the month with us here talking about Prop 25. What we like to do is challenge everybody out there that's watching us right now to bring a different proposition that they don't understand to us every week from now to election, so we can break them down and go with the pros and cons. We know that they're going to do the mail-in ballots. Just like I tell everybody, do your mail-in ballots, but take them to the polls. Or you can go ahead and opt out of getting a mail-in ballot, because there are going to be some poll stations open where you can actually go in person and poll.
Yes, I want to touch base on everybody bringing a proposition to us. Not only does this, like Diego said, give everybody a chance to kind of explain it and break it down, but it also can educate those who don't know about a lot of the props happening and that will be on the ballot. This way everybody will be familiar and understand what they're going to be seeing and how to respond to what best fits their situation and their views. So let's go back to last week. If you guys remember from last week's video, we talked about how Diego's going to have a very busy week, and it also was 9/11. So Diego, this last Saturday was Saturday, right? Friday, my apologies. Friday, he was out in San Jose, where he joined the Vietnamese community for their ceremony. So how was it like being out there? And before you do that, I do want to tell people too as well, there was a video where he was interviewed that is also up on the Facebook page. So if you haven't checked that out, go back and take a look at it. It was very interesting to see.
You know, we were out there, and I want to thank everybody in the San Jose area who did show up. I want to thank the Vietnamese community for inviting me and hosting me out there. And I had, it was a unique experience what I saw, because you see patriots out there that aren't born in this country. You see a lot of patriotism. You saw a demonstration of people who care about what's going on in this country and how they're getting involved on the different political issues. But one of the best things is how patriotic everybody was, how gracious everybody was. We did have some people out there expressing their First Amendment right, freedom of speech. One of the things I gotta say, I support that you wanna do your freedom of speech. I support that you wanna be out there, but when taps are being played for people who have passed away, died, did this so you can actually be out there doing what you're doing, show a little respect. You don't need to F-bomb everything. It wasn't about Donald Trump. It wasn't about any life or any other life not mattering. It was the life of the people who sacrificed during 9/11 so that we were able to do what we're doing now. It was a time for respect. There comes a time when you protest that you have to show respect. And that's both sides. The one thing I can tell you 100%, because I was there, and you can watch the videos that are on our Facebook, how the Vietnamese community reacted. Very gracious, very respectful. They actually allowed these gentlemen to say what they had to say. They allowed them to scream. They allowed them to shout. It was actually a fairly peaceful on both sides, which really impressed me. The one thing I'm going to say out there, if you're out there and you're going to protest, protest peacefully. What you're saying is important. But stop crying, no justice, no peace, because our businesses are not getting any justice from your looting. Our government buildings that are taxpayers, that we're paying, aren't getting no justice because you're destroying property. There's a difference between looting, rioting, and peaceful protests. Do yourselves a favor. Stop blocking the roadways. People are getting tired of it. People are feeling insecure. The safety has gone away.
It has. The security has,
Feeling that you're safe. So when you get hit by a car because you decided to jump on the hood of a car, it's not the driver's fault.
No.
So take a moment. Do your protest. But do it peacefully. Do it in a matter where it counts. For the rest of us, law-abiding citizens, show them some respect. We don't need to go in front of them. We don't need to yell at them. We can sit down and actually have a discussion to see what's the most important thing. And that was one of the valuable things that I learned from last Friday, was the Vietnamese people actually talked to this young man when he finally calmed down. To the end, they were even taking pictures together. We can cross the aisle. Doesn't matter what party line you're at. This isn't about being a Democrat, an independent, or a Republican. This is about humanity. This is about us coming together and uniting the state and this country and moving the hatred away. Talking, we can fix anything. If you're out there and you're undecided on which way you want to vote, you're undecided which candidates you can stand behind, look at all of us. See who you align best with. Your values, your thoughts, where you want your future. We're not going to agree 100% on everything that I believe in. But I can give you 100% promise that I will listen. I will take in consideration both sides. And we will do what's best for California and the California people. Because you are my employers. Yes, the California people are the employers of every government official here. Our tax dollars is what pays our wages. Our tax dollars is what makes this economy roll. Let's take control. Let our voices be heard.
Thank you, Diego. I'm glad that at the end of your experience, you were able to see the positive outcome of rationality and everybody calmly talking and hearing views and being able to take those photos together. That is important, that there was a little bit more of a positivity out there. So thank you. You also, after you were in San Jose, you went over to Middletown with Matt Nelson for the hometown celebration.
We did. We were out there Saturday night, Middletown, Napa, Lake County. Thank everybody for showing up.
Yes.
A lot of people showed up. Great celebration. Great fundraiser for Matt Nelson and his campaign, who their election's coming up right now. Scott was there too. Scott Gibbs was there with us, joining us, meeting and greeting people. And Lake County GOP was out there also, and they had a recall booth. That's still going on, guys. So there's recall booths going on in every corner right now. Check your local listings for one. Check your Facebooks. Check YouTube,
Yes.
Instagram. If you guys haven't signed the recall and you're interested in signing the recall, and I say that because some people think our governor right now is doing a great job, and that is your freedom and your right to feel that way. So with that being said, if you are not one of those people and you want to sign the recall, we've been doing recall booths just about every weekend. Everywhere I go, there's one. So come on out, come sign the recall if you haven't yet.
Yes, definitely. If you guys, even driving down the street in your town, freeways, shopping centers, if you see one and you're like, oh, I've been looking for one, I haven't been a chance to actually do the research and find one, pull over, stop, sign it. It takes 5 minutes, and that's all you guys have to do, and your signature does make a difference. So take that extra 5 minutes if you can. Find one in your local area. If not, if you're driving, you see one, sign it. It's all helpful. Also, we wanted to thank Mr. and Mrs. Owens for letting us use their hometown ranch, or their home ranch.
Their home ranch.
Their home ranch.
It's called Owens Ranch. And what I'd like to do is thank Bill right now for watching, and Eric, who are on the line right now watching us. Thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you. So this next coming towards the end of the month, like Diego had said before, there's going to be a lot of different events and guest speakers coming on. So one of them is Saturday, September 19th in Modesto at 1 p.m. at the Davis Park. This is a meet and greet, and not only Ted Housen will be there, and he is running for Congress, and he's from Turlock, so he'll be running for that district.
Yep.
So that again is Saturday, September 19th out of Modesto at Davis Park. So if you guys are near that area, come do a meet and greet. This gives you a chance again to know your local candidates, and again, Diego will be there, so this is time for you guys to meet him as well as him you. The next place you're going to is also on Sunday the 20th, and this one is in Napa, and this one is for the Patriot Parade and Picnic at the American Canyon.
There is a parade. It was kind of like a last minute put on, so anybody who's out in the Napa area, American Canyon, City Hall, 1 o'clock, bring out your trucks, bring out your cars, bring some picnic stuff, because they're going to do a parade. Come out and join, get involved. It is time for everybody to get involved out there and show your patriotism for the country, for our state. For those of you that want to support Donald Trump, bring your Trump flags out there. Come be supportive. You know, I tell everybody the same thing because I get asked the same thing. Do I support our president? The answer is I support our president, yes. I supported Barack Obama. I didn't vote for Barack Obama. But when he was our president, you support our president because that's the right thing to do.
That's our leader.
Now, I support Donald Trump because he has made plenty of promises and has kept them. Promises made, promises kept. We've heard that slogan over and over again. So when I say this, I don't read his tweets. I really don't care what he really has to tweet. The one thing I can say is that he has been the most outspoken and basically, I don't want to say honest because that might be the wrong interpretation for somebody, but I want to say that at least Donald Trump has given us a view
of who he is.
Of who he is and what he believes in and where he stands. Now, do I agree with 100%? No. But just like I said, nobody will agree with me 100%. But the one thing I got to let everybody know, when you're out there voting, first get educated on what you're voting. Forget about the party lines. Get educated about what you're voting and who you're voting for and what they stand for. Because this next election, to me, is going to be one of the most important ones of the United States. Because we're either going to be a socialism country or we're going to keep the capitalism going. It is time that we actually look beyond the person or beyond what our personal feelings are and see if we can respect the job that that person is doing. And right now, Donald Trump did something that's unheard of for the last 26 years, and that's bringing Israel together. Yes. And no other president has been able to do that. Now, you hear comments from both sides saying, hey, that's a great thing he did. And then from the others, well, those countries are already together. It's not right unless he brings these other people in. Agreement in the Middle East for peace is a great achievement no matter who did it. It is also a great opportunity to show all of us that we can have peace and bring that home to us. We can have peace here in the United States if we all work together and respect each other, because I think that's what's lost, is the respect for one another.
And you talk about respect for one another, and that I feel like is lost in a time almost like right now when you have these controversial sides happening. You know, kind of I want to touch back base on that San Jose for Friday. You saw that just lack of respect and disrespect was shown, and we all forget about that to just calm down, slow down, and realize the humanity, and then that's where the respect comes back in. But if we think about that first, prior to just letting our emotions get the best of us, and we take a step back, we can see that and have that, and that's how we can make that change, and that's how we can have our view seen and our voices heard by one another, regardless, again, what party line you stand for.
You know, right now, the respect about one another, you go in a grocery store, if you see somebody without a mask, it's not your job to patrol them.
No.
Let the store take care of them. We don't need to be fighting about somebody wearing a mask or not wearing a mask. That is, I know some people say that is our safety. I understand that, but if you're wearing your safety goggles, your safety mask, go on about your business. We don't need to make a scene everywhere we go.
No.
And if you're out there and you're not wearing a mask, respect the people that want you to wear a mask and go in the store and wear a mask. We don't need to keep this violence going. It is time that we put it to a stop. It is time that we unite. It is time that we forget about the hatred, because the hatred is destroying our state and destroying our country right now. We need to stop talking about defunding the police. In my administration, that will not happen. We will not defund the police department. What we will do is do more training, encourage the police department to be out at full force, and put law and order back in the state. You have got to feel safe to be able to go to the grocery store. You have got to feel safe that you can drive down the street. You have got to feel safe again, and we have got to put that back in place.
Yes. Okay, great. So something else coming up as well, moving forward, Diego did also talk about next week we will kind of touch and go dive deeper and break down what Prop 20 is. And that again is a whole nother discussion itself, because it touches and adds on to another discussion, another proposition. So for next week, everybody do your homework, come with the proposition, and we'll talk about it as we talk about ours, which is Prop 20 for next week. You tell us yours. And also, for anybody in the Tuolumne County area that is watching this video, or Modesto, Calaveras, Stanislaus, we are going to be having an upcoming meet and greet rally here in Sonora. So stay tuned for that coming up, which we will have a date, hopefully by next week, pick something in a location. So next week we'll release those details for those in the surrounding areas and in the Tuolumne County.
One of the things I want to talk about is Prop 20, which we're going to really break it down next week. The reason Prop 20 is so interesting is because it talks about DNA. It talks about some portions of AB 47, which reduce a lot of the crime into misdemeanors. Mm-hmm. Now they're trying to say, okay, Prop 20, those people that now that we remove that crime down to a misdemeanor, now we want to have your DNA. Now we want to be able to prosecute it like a felony too. So it almost backlashes on AB 47, which should never pass in the first place.
Okay.
So right now, it used to be, before Prop 47, if you went to a store and you stole $450, you were able to get processed as a felony. Once the proposition came into play, 47, now it's $950. So now that's still now a misdemeanor. There's no jail time. It's just a cite and go. So now they're trying to say, okay, we did that, but now because you did that, we feel our communities will feel safer if we prosecute you now as a felony and we get your DNA, and if you mess up, you go back to jail for a longer time. Yes and no. So that's why Prop 20 is so interesting. We have got to break it down all the way. The concept of it is a good concept, but you got to take 47 out of the equation. Otherwise, you're backpedaling. So that's why I chose Prop 20 for next week.
Yes.
I wanted to give everybody a little bit of an insight of what Prop 20 is, so maybe it intrigues you enough to go home, do a little research, put some questions in for this week, or discuss it with us next week. We actually now are able to almost see everybody's comments coming up if you're on. It's a little different than what we're doing. TJ's out here joining us. And thank you for joining us, TJ. And it looks like Sharon Creed is also on there right now. Sorry if I missed anybody who's online right now, but we only get so many at a time.
And this is something we're trying. Tonight, unfortunately, for you guys, is the first night we're doing it. So if you see us kind of looking in the corner, if you see it, this is us just trying to connect with you guys and be able to say hi without it just being a video, like you guys aren't getting our reactions or us back. So we're going to be working on this obviously tonight and next week until we kind of get a little more comfortable with this.
And this is just a little better way that we can interact and have more feedback. Because we know people say, hey, I left you a message there and you didn't answer it. The truth was we weren't seeing them.
Correct.
So it's kind of hard to answer somebody even though these videos are live.
Exactly.
So we're going to talk about my administration just a little bit here and what my goals are. We're almost running out of time tonight. But a lot of you guys are victims of fire. A lot of you guys are victims of evacuations of the fires right now. We had our governor, our president come and have a meeting. Our governor says it's climate change, right? if it was climate change, and I'm not saying that we don't need to work on climate change, so don't, if environmental people don't take it the wrong way. There is a portion of that that's a fact. But there's also a portion, and you heard our governor say this, that it is because we haven't done proper maintain of our forests. So under my administration, what I like to do is bring more industry back into California so we have better paying jobs for people. Not only better paying job, but more tax revenue coming in so we could actually lower the taxes of everybody in California. That goes along with my immigration reform program. But once you bring bigger industries, one of the biggest industries I like to bring back is the lumber industry.
And we talk about, I think we keep talking about this because it is so important into what is happening in today in our state. And our state's burning because the bottom line is we did not maintain our forest. We did not do our upkeep. We did not get rid of the old lumber laying on the ground. We did not cut the weeds and the grass growing around our forests. So when we talk about the lumber industry, and this is why I'm bringing it up, I had a young lady come to me at Middletown and say, hey, you can't bring the lumber industry back here because when you talk about lumber, you talk about cutting down the forest. We're thinking you're talking about clear cutting. Well, unfortunately, that's not how it works. Just think about it this way. Every other tree, because they're too close together, so you thin it out, but you keep it healthier. At the same time, the lumber industry goes and plants more trees to replace the ones that they have cut down. So our forests become healthier, easier to be at. It helps us be able to go and enjoy them. Think about all this grass growing in your house if you haven't mowed the grass in a year or 2 years or 3 years. What happens then? The grass gets overgrown. Okay, you can't see anything. Now, think about it being dry and being sprayed with disinfectants to get rid of the animals, the roaches, whatever they have on trees, the asbestos, things like that. All that's an accelerator. So once a fire starts, it just goes straight, it gets on the ground, and it just keeps spreading. We have no way to get to it because we have no roads. Okay. When the lumber industry was here 30 years ago, we didn't have as many fires. They weren't so maintained. It took so long because now our forests are overgrown. So people say, no, that's not true because this is the worst we've ever had it. It is because over time it gets worse. Your forest gets overgrown. The grass gets overgrown. The dead trees stay on the ground. Now they're dry. Guess what happens? Yeah, fire hits. It's like putting gasoline all over the place. Because they haven't been maintained over such a long period of time, that is just now a huge problem versus it being controlled and taken care of and maintained. It wouldn't have spiraled so out of control. I mean, fires happen. Those are inevitable. They're going to happen in California, especially because people call it fire season. If you're a firefighter, you know it's fire season, and guys that are out there fighting the fire, thank you. Please be safe out there, and I know getting rest isn't that easy right now, so please be safe. Try to get as much rest as you guys can when you can. Our thoughts and prayers are with you guys all the time, and we hope that you guys are all safe. But to prevent some of this, we have got to bring the lumber industry back into California. We have got to start taking better care of our forests and our land, even though our governor liked to push and pay the buck over, which, you know what, you do what you got to do, is telling our president that 57% of the forest right now is federal land, and what did he say, 3% or whatever it was, or 30% was California land. You know what, it's our problem as California. Whether it's a federal problem or a state problem, we need to deal with it. Have we had the lumber industry back in here? What happens is the federal government, even the state, sells the lumber to the lumber mills, to the lumber companies. So the state's making money that way. We're also getting tax money from these people. We're also creating more jobs, which creates more tax revenue and better wages for our people who live here in California. So that's one of the industries. Not only that, and I know everybody who's an environmentalist right there is probably clenching their teeth right now saying, oh my God. No, it's actually, this is going to help our environment. This is going to make it more enjoyable. This is going to make it safer. And it will reduce a lot of this because we'll have dirt roads, gravel roads, to be able to get our fire trucks, our dozers in there and be able to take care of the fires a lot faster than what is going on in today's area. And this fire wouldn't have gone this out of control. No. So guys, take a look at all this that I'm talking about. It's actually pretty real. Anything that I say, you're more than welcome to fact check me. Please. Because I think that all of us should be educated on what's going on and where people are at. Do not forget, the recall booths are going on. Yes, we touched base on this one too. Everybody, look them up in your area. find one. You're driving, sign it. You guys, we can't stress this enough. Signing the recall. They are still going on. As well as stay tuned with us next week as we do dive in. Bring in your propositions. Message us throughout the week. We want to hear them. We will write them down and touch base on them. So we have chosen Prop 20. If you guys want to do your research on them, you're more than welcome to as well. And you guys can kind of give us feedback as we talk about it. So this concludes our night tonight. I want to thank everybody for coming and tuning in with us and talking to us as we figure out this little way of
communicating.
Yes. Please, guys, don't forget to like, share, and follow all of our social media. You guys can always go back on Facebook and watch the previous videos. And we hope to see you guys all next week. I'm Christina Story.
I'm Diego Martinez, and I'd like to invite you guys one more time. Davis Park.
Yes.
1 o'clock Saturday in Modesto. If you're around the area, please come out. Let's talk. Like I said, don't worry about what party lines you're at. We can sit down and have a conversation. I like to hear the feedback from the other side all the time because it gives us an opportunity to think and figure out better solutions. My name is Diego Martinez. I am a candidate for the 2022 Governor of California. We'll see you guys on Saturday, and thank you for joining.